Broadcasting from the heart of the Colorado Rockies, it's 4th and 99 with your hosts, David Slade, Keith Brookman, and Matt Staffiero. Now let's talk football here on 4th and 99.
Hey, good morning, sports fans. Welcome. We have another amazing show planned for you today. Thank you for tuning in to 4th and 99 Broncos pregame show here on the Rocky Mountain Sports Network. We talk all things Broncos with little NFL sprinkled in. I'm your host, David Slade, and with me, as always, is Matt Staffiero and Keith Brugman. And today we have special guest and our friend from K&K Sports, Kenny Kirkpatrick. Morning. How's everybody doing?
Doing well, Dave. Thank you.
Hey, did everybody have a great Christmas?
Yeah, I got one more to go through, but yeah, so far it's been great. I mean, I got an awesome hat, 2019 draft hat. I mean, I've been pretty spoiled.
That is a nice hat.
That's
beautiful, buddy.
I know, right? It's the network colors, so double rep in here.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, definitely. So, Keith, how's your Christmas?
Oh, fantastic, buddy. The only difference is comparatively to you guys, we were in all talking before the chat. I woke up to 1 degree, feels like negative 14, a little bit of snow coming down, adding to the inches we already have. So, I'm actually feeling a white Christmas. You guys are far from it.
Yeah, we're definitely not complaining here. It was 6. I think Friday was like 70 degrees here.
Oh my goodness.
Yesterday was mid 50s. Today's going to be 50. And so, Kenny, how's things in New York? And how was your Christmas? Or Maryland?
Great.
I'm sorry.
So yeah, I'm going to correct you there, Maryland, but that's okay. East Coast. And it feels like the Caribbean here compared to Keith. It's going to be 60 here today. But Christmas was good. Worked Christmas Eve at the hospital. Took care of some sick people, but things are going well at the hospital on that. Christmas, spent time with family and friends, and what better way to start off the day after Christmas than with my good friends at Rocky Mountain Sports Network.
Well, thank you. And thanks for joining us today. So Kenny has a little
I do have a little Christmas present for you.
Yeah, he has a Christmas present for us here. And as soon as we do our sponsor really quick, we'll go ahead and turn Kenny loose on his present to the Rocky Mountain Sports Network and Denver Bronco fans. So we want to thank Willow Seasonings and Blends for sponsoring today's show. Check out their product lineup at willowseasonings.com. They're having a huge year-end sale, 40% off. So that's $6.57 a bottle. So head over to willowseasonings.com, grab yourself some seasonings, and put a little spice into your life. All right, Kenny. We're going to give you the big, giant spotlight here.
Awesome. So, guys, I did a little parody that I did for Christmas with Dave. Got to hear it firsthand, and that's one of the reasons why I'm here today, but also love to be with you guys anytime you want me on. So I did a little Christmas parody, and this song is called The 12 Broncos of Christmas. I'm not going to sing the whole song, but we're going to go from 12 to 1 so we get it done in a couple minutes so we can get on with the show. But the song goes like this. On the 12th day of Christmas, the Broncos gave to me 12 Drew Lock jerseys, 11 Shermer headaches, 10 special team blunders, 9 Paxton autos, Lynch that is, 8 rants from Matt Staffiero, 7 Tebow poses. Come on, guys. I want to see you do your best Tebow pose. 6 Chubb injuries, and I'm going to name them. Splinter, black eye, razor burn, blister, hangnail, and a toothache. 5 Elway drives. You guys can dream, right? 4 Willow Seasonings and Blends. Got to get the sponsor in there. 3 Amigos reunion, and guys, each name one of the 3 Amigos for myself and everybody out there. Dave,
Ricky Natil,
Mark Jackson,
and last one is Vance Johnson, right?
Vance Johnson, yes.
And then 2 more years of Vic Fangio and a pair of Teddy's 2 gloves. Merry Christmas, guys. Merry Christmas, Broncos Nation.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank
it was
you,
From the
probably-
Kenny.
K&K Sports.
That was
It-
fantastic, Kenny.
That was great. And my answer probably would sound a lot better if I didn't decide to mute myself.
Matt's still trying to figure out the new mic that he's had for 2 months now.
Absolutely. No, absolutely not. Hey, I'm getting the hang of it. I was just trying to give Kenny a spotlight. You know, it gets crazy over here sometimes. So I'm like, no back. No.
Kenny, that was fantastic, man. Brought
Thank
us
you. That's
cool.
from the days of old all the way up to the future. Thanks for bringing us through some Bronco folklore and lore.
No problem. Glad I could share it with you guys.
So, Kenny, really quick before we dive into it, you're a lifelong Giants fan.
Yes.
What do you see of the Giants the rest of the season? Just really quick synopsis, and where do you see them heading? Is Daniel Jones their future?
I don't see them, for me personally, I don't see them winning more than one game. I think that game they're going to win possibly is Chicago. Other than 1-3 or 1-2 in the final three or 0-3, that's where we're heading. But me personally, if you ask me, I don't want Daniel Jones back. Just like you guys with Drew Lock, I'm done with. For those who are done with Drew Lock, I'm done with Daniel Jones. But the way it looks like is the ownership wants Jones back, and it sounds like a GM is going to be possibly hired within the organization, which I am totally against. I want to start total rebuild, whether it's through the draft or like a Russell Wilson type quarterback that you can bring in for 4 or 5 years to change this team around.
So all of this Giants bad luck is because when I put some voodoo on them after they beat the Broncos in the Super Bowl. So I don't know when I'm going to take it off yet, Kenny. I don't know if I'm ready yet.
No, keep it for the rest of the year. I want that higher draft pick. But I'm 46 years old, so I don't remember those Joe Pisarcik years with the Giants. But this seems like it's equally as bad as those Joe Pisarcik years, and that's bad.
Yeah. So, all right. And you sort of brought up one of our quarterbacks that some people love him, some people hate him. There's no middle of the road with this guy. You either are for him or you just want him totally eradicated from the situation. So we're going to talk about Drew Lock, who's getting the start today, and we'll go around the horn, and I'm going to just ask the question. And Matt, you're going to go last because I know you're going to go for 16 hours on this topic.
I actually have a very short and simple answer.
So
I got a quick and easy one for you.
And we'll be nice.
Yep,
We'll let our good guest go first. But do you guys think that if Drew Lock goes out and plays very well today, let's say he throws for over 300 yards, has 4 touchdowns, maybe 1 interception, do the Broncos go ahead and just start Teddy again next week, or being that we're in this playoff push, or do we go ahead and use the guy who can get the ball down the field? Kenny, what would be your thoughts on that?
I think he's gonna have a good performance today. I think Drew Lock matches up good against the Raiders defense, and this is the type of team that Drew Lock can shine against, in my opinion. That being said, I think they should, and if you asked me this 3 or 4 weeks ago after Teddy's first concussion that he had, first injury, I would say, no, Teddy's the quarterback. But now he's got another injury, and this is 2 injuries now this year. But if Drew Lock comes out and performs well or even average, let him start the rest of the year and keep Teddy as your backup.
Okay. Keith?
What do I do? Yeah, I think if he goes out there and he has a decent day of it, I would continue to start him for the rest of the season. I'm in agreement with Kenny. We brought up injuries last week, and not only is this the second concussion, but he's had ankle injuries. He's had a tibia injury. He has had a multitude of injuries that now gets us start questioning that 20 to 25 million that he's asking in his next contract on average. So I sure hope Drew Lock goes out there and plays well today. And if he does, then yeah, I think that's a great opportunity to swing over and maybe get a few more looks at a quarterback that really didn't get much of a chance so far.
Yeah. All right, Matt.
I think you should start him whether he plays well or he goes out there and kind of lays an egg. I think we've seen enough from what we need to see of Teddy Bridgewater to know that there's nothing really moving forward with Teddy Bridgewater. There's the playoff hopes. Did they grow? Did they drop? I mean, it's unlikely they got to run. Drew Lock's healthy. You don't really know what his future entails, but either you're going to get a good look and see if this kid's developed at all, or you're going to see, okay, well, at least we know we could trade him.
Yeah, and really quick, want to say good morning to Joe from 5280 Zone. Good morning, Joe, and thanks for tuning in this morning. So I'm in agreement, and I'm sort of shocked with Matt's response, but maybe Matt is becoming a little more logical, but.
No,
I don't see any value we get out of that letting Teddy play. Maybe Peyton. We all have this sneaky suspicion that Vic Fangio does not like Drew Lock whatsoever, and maybe it takes George Payton stepping in and saying, you know what, I want to look at this kid the rest of the season, see if he's in our future plans, or if we can build him up a little bit, get some trade value, but. I think the rest of the season you go out there and you just play this guy and let's put it to rest once and for all. Either the guy shows some promise and we can bring him back next week or next year and have him compete with somebody for the starting job, a real competition, or not a Teddy Bridgewater type guy, or we let him go or we trade him after this season. So it'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. I with Keith, I hope he just goes out and I hope he just has a great game. It's good for the Broncos if he has a great game. So,
Absolutely.
And like we talked about Wednesday night, we're all Bronco fans here. We're not Teddy fans. We're not Drew fans. So let's hope Drew goes out and does good for the Broncos, not for Drew Lock. So another huge game for somebody else is this guy here, Vic Fangio. Matt, I'm going to start with you. If the Broncos lose today, if you're George Payton, would you just go ahead and get rid of Vic Fangio so you can start looking for that new coach because you don't want to fall behind the Raiders and the Jaguars who already are going to start looking because they have fired their coaches. So what's your thoughts, Matt?
If I'm George Payton, I probably would do it. Do I think it's going to happen? Absolutely. I don't think Vic Fangio is going anywhere. I think it's just kind of a pipe dream for us at this point. I mean, unless he loses out the season, which is a possibility, but at that point you're already talking and you're 2-3 weeks behind because of the new rule. But I think unless Fangio loses out, I think there's a good chance he's coming back.
Right. And Keith, would you welcome Fangio back? I mean, with a different offensive coaching staff in tow, or are you just like, if we lose to the Raiders, we're pretty much out of the playoffs. Let's get rid of the guy and let's start looking for our next head coach.
As much as I'd like to cut bait when you look at his playoff record, and I dug a little bit deeper into these stats, but he's 1-4 against the Raiders so far. So as much as I'd like to cut bait, he's consistently got this team a little bit better. And right now they're riding high on his defense, which is what we've all pressed him to do. If we could ever pair him with a great offense, and maybe Kenny over there can weigh in on a Pat Shurmur offense. But if we could pair him with a great offense, I think we have something special. I know that we're going to have mistakes. We're going to have challenge flags and maybe a mishap in timeouts. But I also remember a guy like Andy Reid that used to have those same issues, and no one really complains about him much anymore. So I like what we have in Vic Fangio. I just wish we could put something together offensively.
Kenny, and same thing to you, Kenny. And I know you guys are sort of faced with the same situation in New York. I mean, when do you guys finally cut ties with Joe Judge, and start looking for another guy? But if the Broncos lost today to the Raiders, and here's the last 7 games, the Broncos are 2-5 against the Raiders in our last 7 games. I know they're not all under Fangio. Some of them go back to the Vance Joseph era, but I mean, we just have not matched up well with them the last, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what's your thoughts, Kenny? Would you just let him go and start looking for the replacement?
I think I would. Fangio wasn't Peyton's guy, right? He didn't bring him in. I definitely would look elsewhere. I mean, I look at this, not just the Raiders, but how many big wins can you say Vic Fangio's had in his, tenure with the Broncos so far? They're not there. Every time there's a big game, they lay a big egg. The Chiefs, on national TV, you get blown out. I remember last year, the Chiefs blown out on national TV. The games, and then you see games that you should be winning, the Bengals, and you lay an egg against the Bengals. I just see too many of those bad losses after a decent, I don't want to say a good win, because a good win against the Lions is it's not a great win. It's the Lions, but you should have came right back and did the same thing against the Bengals team, a young Bengals team traveling to the thin air in Denver, and the Broncos was the team that didn't show up, not the Bengals. So he doesn't. I don't know. He just doesn't have that I don't know, leadership for me as an outsider who's not a Bronco fan.
Right.
Well, I see him more as a good defensive coordinator. You want to bring him over to the Giants and run my defense? I'm all aboard. I'll take him to run my defense, but nowhere near a head coaching job.
You have to take Pat Shurmur, though.
We'll send Joe Judge your way to run your special teams.
Pat Shurmur comes with Vic, though, Kenny. Would you welcome Pat Shurmur back with Vic? maybe him and Daniel Jones can reunite. He helped his career so much. So, all right. Sorry, guys. I told you before, I got this back muscle that's spasming. So if I move just the wrong way, I sort of make these weird noises. So sorry, guys. Let's talk about
laugh at your pain. Sorry.
Sorry. All right. Let's look at this. High stake players for the Raiders. Derek Carr's having a pretty decent season, I mean, it's not equating to wins. I mean, does Derek Carr scare you today, Kenny?
He's always can have those games. So yes, I do think this is going to be a high scoring game. So I just hope Drew Lock doesn't make the mistakes, and I don't want to jump ahead, but I think you guys win today. But big loss is Darren Waller being out, so stop Hunter Renfrow in the slot, and I'm not really afraid of Josh Jacobs with your defense. So I don't know. I think I like the matchup today. I like the Broncos. Carr would scare me a little bit if he has one of those magic games.
Yeah, Matt, who scares you the most on the Raiders offense today?
Most likely Derek Carr. I mean, the player that we've been highlighting in recent weeks so much, and that's Kirk Cousins, and he's putting up top 5 numbers and this and that. And, Derek Carr, puts up top 10 numbers with, receivers most people have never heard of. He doesn't got Justin Jefferson. He doesn't have Adam Thielen. He's got a Hunter Renfrow and a Brian Edwards, and he's putting up 4,000 yards. And it's not as pretty as what, Kirk Cousins in terms of like interception to touchdown ratio. But I mean, this guy consistently produces with nobody. He puts the Raiders in most games. I mean, he's cost them a few recently with some bad interceptions, but Derek Carr is the one I'm fearful of today.
Keith, how about you? Who scares you on the Raiders today?
Yeah, it's a 3-way tie. Then Derek Carr has got to be the guy that goes out there and gets it done for them, and it proves out, and just even Hunter Renfrow, 909 yards. Like Matt said, it's a plethora of guys that no one really ever hears of. Don't know what the heck happened with Josh Jacobs. They've completely abandoned the run game that seemed like it was so good for them just a year, maybe a year and a half ago. So that's obviously not scary as well. So it's really on Derek Carr's shoulders to get it done this Sunday.
Yeah, and he's missing, probably his best weapon in Waller. So it'll be interesting to see how the Raiders attack the Broncos today. So Broncos high-stake players. I mean, I think we all know what the Broncos need to do today to win, and that's just run the ball, keep Derek Carr on the sideline, And
Yeah.
but I think with Drew Lock, we got the ability to stretch this field a little bit more than we have with Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, how do you attack the Raiders defense today, and how do you make sure that you keep Crosby and them at bay, Matt, and where they're not just continuously pinning their ears back and going after Drew Lock?
It's simple. Do the exact opposite of what you said about Drew Lock. Don't try to make him force throws downfield. Don't put him in bad situations. You pass the ball, but we also got to remember, put a cap on it. Trust where this team's strength is. It's the run game. The more you're running the game, you're going to be able to get those play action passes. You're going to get better chips. You're going to get better blocks. You're going to knock, Max Crosby off, his natural rhythm. You just go down there and you ask Drew Lock to drop back, 25 times, and you kind of abandon this run game. Drew Lock's going to have 3 picks and sack 4 or 5 times. That's just how it happens every single time. Same thing with Teddy Bridgewater. They both have bad games when they abandon the run. Both quarterbacks do really well when you're got the run going and you're able to do play action. That's where Drew Lock can have a big game. If they can get play action going, then allow him to spread the field. Don't ask him just to draw back in those 3 wides, because we know he's going to force the ball deep every single time. They're going to get that safety over the top, and it's going to be just a constant repeat of what we've seen last season with Drew. Trust the run game. Allow it to open up the passing game. That's how this team should have operated all season.
Yeah. Kenny, I mean, 50-50 on the carries between Javonte and Melvin today, or?
Yeah, I think it should be. I'm looking at Javonte Williams' numbers, and less carries than Melvin Gordon, right? And I think he should get 50-50 today, and they should run the ball 60-40 at the least today. But like Matt said, he nailed it. Run that play actions when they. If they're going to try and stop the run, call a play action, and you get one of your guys deep. Or waiting for it. I'm still waiting for that Noah Fant game. So maybe new quarterback in, Drew Lock. Maybe he looks for different guys, and you may get that Noah Fant game today.
And good segue, because I was going to ask Keith. I mean, with Drew Lock in there, we saw that Drew Lock last year, him and Noah Fant sort of had a good combination going. So did Locke and Jerry Jeudy. Do you see those two more involved in the game plan today?
I see him tremendously more involved in the game plan. Unfortunately, if you look back, this doesn't play out to look like a good running scenario for the Broncos, not unless we get out there and we start leading early with a running game. In our last 3 games, the Raiders have scored 34, 32, and 37 points. Because of that, I don't see that there's any way that we continue to just pound away at the run game, especially not with the mentalities of our coaches and coordinators. I expect us to hit the air, and it'll really depend upon how well Drew Lock plays today, like we talked about earlier. But I absolutely expect a Jerry Jeudy to be involved, a Noah Fant to be involved, maybe an old college roommate or college player, in Albert O, getting a little bit more time with the ball in his hands as well. So I think this is going to be, unfortunately, a little bit more of a shootout. Just especially you got a guy on the other side of the ball who's putting up 4,000 yards already, and he's got 3 games to go.
All right. Good morning, DJ. Thanks for tuning in this morning. Hey, you guys got any questions, anything, score predictions? Go ahead and shoot those out to us. I see Matt over there jumping
I got a
around.
question.
Yes.
I got a question. I'm kidding. It's not a question. I want to comment real quick. Bringing back DJ really quick. DJ actually runs a Viking/NFL podcast. Him and I actually had a really good conversation earlier this week about Kirk Cousins and why they don't like him. So we might have to get DJ on here. He runs High Hopes podcast. So let's bring him on and we can maybe talk some more quarterback roundtable stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
He's not a Kirk Cousins fan. So real quick, that one other quick thing I really wanted to pop out, because we were talking run game. I have an uncle and cousin who are diehard Steelers fans. They were talking so much about how great Najee Harris is, and he's great. But I just wanted to point out a couple stats real quick about Najee Harris and Javonte Williams. Najee Harris has only 79 more yards, or 76 more yards than Javonte Williams, with nearly 80 more carries. Just throwing that out there. I think Javonte might be the steal of the century, and we may be talking more Javonte Williams moving forward than we do Najee Harris.
Oh, I agree. I think that Javonte Williams is a better back than Najee Harris.
He's not splitting the backfield.
Right,
Najee's
right,
not splitting the backfield.
Right. Our own Jerry Merck called that before the draft, said Javonte Williams is probably the best back in the draft, but you go to Alabama, you get the press, you get the pub, and you usually get overinflated. So we're sort of dealing with one of them right now in a wide receiver that may be overinflated because of where he played college football, but only time will tell. All right, we're going to do some quick over-under, so I just want to over-under from you. No explanation is needed. First, we're going to go rush attempts. Over-under, Gordon, 14, Matt.
I'm going to say over.
Okay, Keith?
Under.
Kenny?
I'm going to go under.
Under, okay, so 2 unders. Javonte Williams, 12 carries. Kenny, over, under?
That one I'm going over.
Okay, over, Keith?
Also over.
And Matt?
I'm going to say over.
All right. All right, here we go, Matt. This is your chance to shine. This is your chance to beat down Drew Lock.
Let's do it. It's
passing attempts. Over under 35, Matt.
For the sake of the Broncos, I'm hoping it's under.
Okay, Keith?
Over.
Kenny?
This is why we're going to lose.
I'm gonna go under.
Okay, so we got 2 unders, 1 over. Yardage, 225 yards. Kenny, over or under?
I'm gonna go over for Drew Lock.
Keith?
He's gonna take a couple deep shots.
Over.
Matt?
I'm going to go over.
All right. Touchdowns. Keith, 2, over under on 2.
Over.
Matt?
I don't think he goes over 2.
So you going under or are you going
under.
at 2? Okay.
I'm going under.
All right, Kenny?
I'll go under, but I think it's a push. I think 2 is the number.
Okay. And then interceptions. Matt, go ahead. Over under on 2.
I think he's going to push. I think he'll get 2.
Okay. Keith, over under?
I'm going to push as well.
All right.
That's
Kenny.
You guys are gonna love my answer. I'm going under 0. He matches up perfect against this Raiders team. 0 interceptions for Drew Lock, and I'm not a Drew Lock guy.
Yeah, and here's my stats for Drew today is going to be about 287 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. So I'm gonna go over, and we'll talk about who wins.
How many attempts, Dave? Over under
I'm going to say 37 attempts.
Okay, so over on the 35 as well.
Yes.
So he's buying high in the Drew Lock stock today is what I'm hearing.
I am. Matt,
Here's
Matt, you know that I've always bought high in the Drew Lock stock. So
we've not got the returns we had hoped. I'll say that. So I'm going to be a cautious investor moving forward.
That's right.
Simple yes or no question.
Okay.
I'll start with Dave. You win the toss today. You're Vic Fangio. Do you receive or do you defer?
Oh, I'm going to defer. I want my defense out there first. They're the most important part of this team.
And Matt?
Defer.
And Keith?
And defer. And
Kenny? I would think about. What was that?
And Kenny.
What do you
think? I would think about receiving it because of what Keith said about Vegas wanting to throw the ball and putting up all those points. Keep that offense off the field at the beginning of the game. Put them in a hole. At least you're up on them and you can keep your running game going.
I think I would want all of the
if you fall behind
initial anxiety and workup of the game to get out of its system before you throw Drew out there.
Yeah, I'll put it to you this way, Kenny. We got 2 names. That's Drew Lock and Pat Shurmur. Us getting the ball first doesn't and factor in those nerves.
You guys know more than me.
Does not sound good for us. That sounds like a pick 6 waiting to happen.
All right, really quick, we're going to thank our sponsor again, Willow Seasonings and Blend. Check them out at the website, willowseasonings.com. Year-end clearance sale, 40% off. So go ahead and get your seasonings. All right, gentlemen, we are going to move on to the defensive side of the game. So, all right, Matt, I'm going to start with you. How did the Broncos cool down Derek Carr and company?
It's just creating interior pressure. Make his pocket messy He's not an extremely fast quarterback, so he has the skills and abilities to evade the pocket if need be. But I'm confident in Cooper, and oh goodness, did I have to say I'm confident enough that Chubb can track him down. So yeah, I really need Draymond Jones if he's going to be able to go. I know he was listed as questionable, but it sounds like he was trending towards playing. Shelby Harris, Agim, we need those guys to really step up and force Carr to either he's going to step up and get obliterated, or make him force him out and let these edge rushers eat.
Okay, and Keith, I'm going to twist this up a little bit for you. So Derek Waller, we know we normally struggle with tight ends, running backs. Derek Waller is out today, thank goodness. Do you see maybe Josh Jacobs more involved in the pass game? And if you do, who do we have that we can really match up against him, being that Kenny Young's going to be out? What do you look for?
Yeah, I mean, I really don't see him being involved as much in the game. Honestly, I still see him going back to the tight end position. Moreau has came out and looked pretty good in recent weeks. I think he still defers out to his wide receivers as well. As always, Kenny Young is a tough one to. It's funny, the guy who came in from mid-season for us, he's such a great leader on the field. He's got a ton of energy, and he seems to be able to fly around in all the right positions. So it'll be more of the same. I think Cooper will have some. I think we'll mix it up. But I just wanted to go back to a great mind who pointed out something last week before he went out to a football game, and he said we got to have great coverage, and we had to utilize our blitzes. Strategically. This was Mr. David Slade, and as I watched, when I watched the game and I saw our safety Justin Simmons come flying in on a blitz and absolutely bury the quarterback last week, I thought of you, and the great game plan that we wanted to see, and the great game plan that came out last week. Honestly, I saw some people on some pages calling out our defense as far as the loss because of the touchdown we gave up. And I said, hey, there's no way we should ever see a 15 points be a loss to our defense. So that being said, I think it's more of the same. We play great defense and we strategically blitz and keep them off pace just a little bit.
Kenny, your thoughts? I mean, how do the Broncos slow down Derek Carr in these Raiders?
Matt and Keith nailed it, in my opinion. They nailed everything. That I'll just add, don't be afraid of Josh Jacobs. Like Keith said earlier, they look like they've abandoned the run. So, and what Keith just said too, Justin Simmons, bring a couple, blitz packages in. Hunter Renfrow and Brian Edwards should not scare Vic Fangio where you got to play nickel and dime all game and double team. You don't have Darren Waller playing. That's the biggest weapon right there. So just keep the pressure on Derek Carr. Let him make those occasional mistakes that he will make if you keep the pressure on him.
Yeah,
whether it's through a fumble or through interception.
And he will do that. So, I mean, you can force him into making some bad decisions and mistakes. And I agree with all you guys. Let's not get crazy and let's not be sending the house every play. We got a great defense, and Keith, you hit it perfectly. I mean, we held Cincinnati to 15 points. How anybody can fault that Denver Bronco defense at all? Yeah. I mean, they were averaging almost 28 points a game. So our defense had our offense in perfect position to win that game. Our offense just couldn't put the ball in the end zone. So, Matt, our defense is currently ranked number 3 in scoring defense in the NFL. We've seen this before. We talked about it last year. The defense carries this team. I mean, do they have the right to be frustrated with this offense?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, you go out there and you're busting your bottom on, your opposing offense is out there for 14-plus drive. You hold them to a field goal or less. The next thing you know, Teddy Bridgewater, Drew Lock goes out there and gets 2 or 3 plays, and you're back out there in another, 15 or 10-play drive, holding them to 3 points or nothing, and you're constantly giving these guys opportunities to take the game away. I mean, yeah, I'd be pissed. I mean, it's been, this goes past Vic Fangio. This goes past Vic Vance Joseph. This goes all the way to Gary Kubiak's final year where the defense has been carrying this team. I think it's time to be pounding the table of like, okay, when is enough enough? And if you're not going to fix it, why am I here?
Yeah. Keith, then for you, who on this defense continues to impress, and who should really bring their A game today? Who's your star, I guess, so far this year?
It's my buddy I just mentioned earlier. Justin Simmons, I think, has just been a leader. Quite honestly, if we want to talk about it, we could, but Pro Bowl snubs, there might have been a few in the Denver Broncos, and I think Justin Simmons should have been considered in there, having a fantastic year. Being a leader on the field, something that we've asked from him for years, and it really seems to have blossomed. Has interceptions, has tackles. He's playing the lights out this year, and really being that franchise guy we asked him to be when we signed him to the contract we did.
Yeah. Kenny, and you guys sort of deal with this in New York. You guys have a decent defense. I mean, I don't think they're on the same level as the Broncos, but that offense of yours is just brutal at times. I mean, Are you guys seeing the same things? The defense getting frustrated with the offense? I mean, is it leaking into the media and things like that?
Yeah, I could see the defense, some of the guys getting frustrated. I mean, to me, on paper, we have I said at the beginning of the year, we have a top 5 secondary. We may not have a great defensive line, but secondary, we have a top 5 secondary. And, I do see the frustrations. I do see a lot of similarities. Quarterback, receivers, we got weapons, but, our offensive line's not great. So I do see it, and I do see Broncos defense possibly starting to blame the offense, behind closed doors, and they're all professional where they'll, try and keep their frustrations quiet, but you can see it.
Well, and I'm going to bring this up to Keith. I mean, rumors were last week that Shelby Harris, he didn't even wait till he got in the locker room. He's on the sideline screaming at the offense. So this thing's about ready to boil over. I mean, do we really see it boil over if Drew Lock just goes out there and struggles? The offense can't move the ball. I mean,
I think it's dependent upon the game plan that they put out there. I think if they put a game plan out there that is different than what they've been putting out there in the past, and Drew Lock struggles and still has issues, that's one thing. I think they'll have that leniency, knowing that Drew Lock is out there for his first start. If they go out there with the same, pathetic game plan that they've been rolling out on the field as of lately, and just want Drew Lock to run it, and there's no changes to the system, then yeah, I think you'll still see boil over from that defense onto that offense and the production that they're putting out.
Yeah. And I want to jump on this question really quick right here, because this is a good one. And I asked Matt and Keith this on Wednesday night. Do you guys see Jerry Jeudy getting his first touchdown in the game or the season this year? Matt and Keith, you both said no. I said yes, he'll get one receiving touchdown today. Have you guys changed your mind? Do you see Jerry Jeudy being more of a plan in this game? And do him and Locke maybe connect for a touchdown? Matt?
No.
I'm
sticking to my answer. Okay. It's not happening.
Keith? And Matt, let me have sorry, Keith. Can you expound on that a little bit? Is it Drew Lock? Is it Drew Lock, or is it Jerry Jeudy?
Oh my goodness, David Slay's asking me to talk more. I think this is Christmas. Holy cow!
A little short, but I just want to know.
Merry Christmas, Matt.
You got a pretty Christmas. You're pretty emphatic with that no, so I want to know: is it Drew Lock that you don't like, or is it Jerry Jeudy?
Well, we know where I stand on Drew Lock, so I won't go into too much on that. I do think it's a combination of a few things. I think Drew Lock is technically kind of coming in cold. We don't, is this going to be the game plan where we see Drew Lock having to sit in 3 wides and force it? We see mistakes. Game plan's going to play a factor into it. Last year their chemistry wasn't really fantastic. Jerry Jeudy had the drops. Some hit his hands, some were kind of terrible throws. They just didn't have the chemistry. Like it was. Don't get me wrong, it was better than what Teddy Bridgewater and Jerry Jeudy have had of recent memory. But I just think there's too many factors. I think the biggest one being we don't really know what version of Drew Lock we're getting in. He's coming in cold. This is
Okay.
yeah. So,
So
I
Matt's
just don't think it
staying
happens.
So Matt's staying with no, and it sounds like it's really Drew Lock's fault.
No, I think it's more
Of course it is
chemistry.
with
It's
Matt.
chemistry.
So, Keith, are you going to change your answer? Are you still on a no? And if so, why?
Okay, I'm still on a no, but I'm on a slightly different one. I just don't think he sees the end zone. I think he could push up and maybe even over 100 yards in the game. I just don't see a touchdown out of it.
Okay.
So,
Kenny, oh, sorry. Were you done, Keith?
nope,
I'm
that's
sorry.
good. That's good, man.
Okay. Kenny, do you think Jerry Jeudy gets a touchdown today?
I'm going to say yes. I did not know he, I'm on the East Coast and a Giants fan. I did not know he didn't have a touchdown all year. I think this is his best chance with this Raiders secondary to be an X factor. Him or Tim Patrick, but I'll say he gets the touchdown today. I'm going to say yes, Dave. I'll agree with you.
All right, and I'm just going to say this, and I know Matt said a chemistry issue and everything, and I know Drew's coming in cold, but Jerry Jeudy put up good numbers last year. I mean, besides some untimely drops, I mean, the guy had how many catches? Does anybody know off the top of their head?
No, off the top of my
We
head.
have about 80.
I thought it was in the 80s, like 86, I thought.
Here, I got you. I'll double check right now.
I mean, so I can see him and Drew Lock, getting
in
on
his
that
career, he's got 85 as a career.
Okay, so what did he have last year?
So it would be about 52 catches.
Okay, all right.
It's not like outstanding.
Well, it's not horrible.
It's better than what it is this year at 33.
Okay, all right. So all right.
But
so
there's one more thing I'll add to it real quick. If you're when you're wrapped up, real quick.
Go ahead.
I just think that, one thing we've noticed the last couple of weeks is this offense has really tried to make Courtland Sutton a centerpiece as well. And I think with Drew Lock's ability to spread the field, I think that's going to be who they're really pushing to get the ball to is Courtland Sutton.
Okay. Well, no need to make him happy anymore. You paid the guy. He's not going anywhere. So, all right, guys, really quick. Before we head into our picks, Vic Fangio and Matt, I think you are sort of under the agreement that Vic Fangio is probably going to be back next year. I mean, unfortunately for a lot of people,
it really just depends on what they do with that offensive coordinator spot.
And that is true. So I'm just going to say this. We'll ask this question. Would you guys welcome Vic Fangio back if we brought in a Joe Brady type offensive coordinator? Matt?
Yeah, I would.
Keith?
The right coordinator, I'd bring back Fangio, yeah.
Okay. Kenny?
I'm not bringing him back. I'm bringing a new head coach and a new coordinator and a new quarterback one way or the other.
See, and I'm with Kenny. I understand that Vic is a great defensive coordinator, but he's just made too many mistakes, in clock management, game management, just decisions that have cost the Broncos games. And Matt says this about Drew Lock all the time. You don't see the guy improving. You don't see Vic Fangio improving either. So he should be on the same clock that Drew Lock is on. So if we're going to say Drew Lock hasn't improved in 3 years, Vic Fangio really hasn't either. Yeah,
number three defense.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute, guys. Wait a minute. Wait.
I'm on Dave's side here.
We got the easiest schedule in the NFL. Come on.
Can I throw my 2 cents in?
Let's not overinflate this.
My question to Matt and Keith, Dave, is name me some big wins Vic's had.
Well, it's tough because
the Giants. They went off 3-0 against the Giants, Jaguars,
Dallas Cowboys this year.
Okay, Dallas Cowboys. Let's talk about some bad losses. How about the Philadelphia Eagles?
But how many of those bad losses are because we can't produce the points?
You're the head coach.
So my bad loss is the Chiefs. You got blown out to the Chiefs.
But okay, let's go back to that Chiefs loss though. How many points did Vic Fangio's defense? How many touchdowns did Patrick Mahomes have? How many touchdowns did that Kansas City offense have? One. Where did all those points come from? Turnovers, the interception.
My friendly argument is they don't have It's not the defense. Vic Fangio is a great defensive mind.
He is.
Like,
I'm
not a great head coach, and that's my opinion.
I will
he
not
sucks
take
at
that
managing
away
his
from
coaches.
him.
I'll give
I
him
will
that.
not take that away from Vic Fangio. This guy
Me neither.
is. And Matt, you just nailed it right there. He sucks at managing his coaches. This guy is now he's over your entire football organization from the coaching standpoint. You don't want some guy that you're going to have an excuse for him that, well, he just sucks at managing coaches.
I mean, at the same
come
time,
on.
how much is it that Pat Shermer's just a really bad offensive coordinator? How much of it is really that just, Tom McMahon's a really poor coordinator? How much is it? Maybe that's where the poor decisions are coming from. But he wasn't the only one making those decisions, was he? I mean, do we really got to get back into how badly Elway derailed this team?
That has nothing to do with the way this team is playing on the field right now. Like, let's take Cincinnati, for example. It's the end of the first half. We have the ball. There's 9 seconds left, and we decide, we're going to kick like a 54-yard field goal. We're tied 3-3 at the time. So what do? We kick it, we miss it, and then we give Cincinnati the opportunity to put 3 more points on the board. Just a poor decision. Punt the ball, go into the locker room 3-3. But don't lose that little battle right there. It's just a little mental thing that goes into the back of your head.
So this is
a 53 to 54 yard field goal
at
Mile High with one of the best kickers in the league is something that you shouldn't have to worry about. We see guys hit 53, 54 yard field goals every single Sunday, and they're not in Denver with the wind not blowing.
I mean, wasn't McPherson's kicks both over 50 yards at that point? Didn't both of his first half kicks were over 50 yards?
I believe
they were.
Yeah, exactly. So that wasn't the poor decision. The poor decision was
the
doesn't have faith in his offense. He doesn't have faith in his offense. They came out and played a shitty game plan, and they played conservative. They played for 3 points. That's where the mistake happened because he doesn't have faith in his quarterback or his coordinator.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring up one thing too, Dave. But you go ahead, ask your question.
So if you go to your job and you just keep performing shitty, isn't your boss going to come to you and say, "Hey, that's a really bad plan you're working there with, Kenny"?
Yep.
Isn't
it
the boss's responsibility to go to somebody and say, "We need to fix this"? Yes. You don't see it happening.
But if this is where Vic's mistake was, if he was the one who chose to play it safe and go for the field goal instead of pushing the field downfield, that's where the mistake was.
Well,
given the people running the plan and operating the plant and Teddy Bridgewater, who we've deemed can't spread a field in a 2-minute drill or at any time during a game, I could kind of see where he's playing safe. I don't agree with it, but I could see why he would do it.
Well, he's played this whole season safe. So,
except I will bring up one thing: the Chiefs game. And now you guys might disagree with me, but this is how I felt about that 20-play drive. You're down 10-3 at the time. Take the 3 points. You got the ball at the 3 or 4 yard line. Why are you going for it there? Once you didn't convert there, the game was over. The Chiefs had their momentum back, and the game was over. And there's a decision.
Yeah, we all agreed on that.
Poor decision. Like that's what Dave was saying. And it's why I wouldn't bring Vic Fangio back. Let him run a defense somewhere, and you're going to have a top defense in the league.
There's a comment here that we
and Burton does bring up a good point. Prater just yesterday was horrible for the Cardinals.
And it happens the game.
And you know what? I'm not blaming. Okay, let me rephrase this. It's just the way the clock was managed. If you're going to kick that field goal, then you make sure that you only have, when he kicks it, there's no time left on that clock in case he does miss it. And that's part of the problem there, So.
Yeah, this is a collaboration of suck. It's a collaborative suck, like Vic says here.
It is.
There's multiple things going wrong. And the last thing I'll say about Vic Fangio is we said this last week, I believe. When he was brought in to have a co-head coach. We knew that there was going to be handicaps. Gary Kubiak was supposed to come back and be a co-head coach with Vic. We knew these issues were there. I don't think they had any intention of him growing this late in his career. You compared him to Drew Lock. Drew Lock is 24 right now. Vic Fangio is 63 and been coaching for longer than I've been alive. I don't think they had any intentions of him making that personal growth. They came in knowing there was going to be some of these mismanagement, time clock things. That wasn't his wheelhouse. They brought him in here to be essentially a co-head coach / defensive coordinator. That's what it was. But Elway didn't back off from not letting Perriani and Dennison come back with Kubiak. And now we're here 3 years later, and who knows why. That's where he's at.
Who knows?
To me
All right.
personally, I would bring in. I know. Gotta move on. I would personally bring in a young head coach, like look at Sean McVay, what he's done at the Rams, LaFleur with the Packers, even Stefanski. Okay, they're a little down this year, but Stefanski with the Browns last year. Bring in like a Kellen Moore or a Byron Leftwich, somebody young, and spark the team. It seems to be those young guys know how to spark a team. That would be, or Brian Dable from Buffalo. Bring in an offensive-minded guy who's going to spark the offense, and defense is there already. You'll have a winning formula.
Yeah, and I would be happy with that. Like, I would not be upset one bit if that's the direction they go.
I understand where you're coming from, Matt. I understand, and I think we've all agreed that Fangio may be back next year. I just don't like it. I
don't think any of us technically like it.
You guys are in the same boat as I am with Joe Judge. So. Exactly the same boat.
All right. Well, we're going to get on to our pick'em segment now. Matt is still with a comfortable lead with 110-68 lead. I gained one up on Keith yesterday. And then Keith is
close for second.
Yep. It is close for second. So, All right. So here's the picks from the Thursday night game and then the 2 Saturday games. I'm the only one who went with Tennessee. So
good job, Dave.
Chalk that one up there for me. So
yeah, me and you have been agreeing on a lot today, Dave. So, I had Tennessee.
We have. All right. We all went with the Packers. Boy, the Browns had the chance. Baker Mayfield. Oh my goodness. So, all right. Hey, at least we didn't spend a first round pick on Drew Lock. Like the Browns did on Baker. So I'd be a little more upset. So
Johnny Manziel.
Right.
It's just the Browns doing what the Browns do. That's
yes,
what
it is. So, and then we had last night's game, and then once again, the only one who went with the Colts, Mr. David Slade. So
look at Dave making a little comeback here, maybe.
So,
yeah, Matt Prater cost them that game.
Oh, he did. Missed 2 field goals, missed an extra point, but that's why they play the games. So, and boy, I would have loved to see Carson Wentz here over Teddy Bridgewater.
I think anybody now looking back would love to see that happen.
Yeah, hindsight's 2020. So
yeah, it's the Josh Allen reminders all over again.
Yep. All right, let's get into today's picks. All right, so the Falcons.
Man.
The Lions at the Falcons. Can the Lions pull off the upset like they did? I'm going to say no. I'm going with the Falcons. Matt, where are you going?
I'm sticking with the Falcons as well.
And Keith?
Sweep with the Falcons, man.
And Kenny, where are you going?
Definitely a sweep, and I think it's going to be at least a double-digit win by the Falcons.
Okay. Ooh. No faith in those Lions. They've been
not back-to-back.
They're hot, man. They beat the Cardinals.
Ravens at the Bengals. So Bengals are sitting in first place. Ravens are in big trouble with COVID and injuries and everything else. They're down to their third-string quarterback. I'm going with the Bengals. Matt, where are you going?
Definitely going with the Bengals. I was going with the Bengals even if Lamar Jackson's playing.
Yeah, and I was too. I like the Bengals. I like what they're doing. Keith, where are you going?
Coming off the big playoff win last week, Bengals continue to roll.
Whoops. And Kenny,
my neck of the woods. The Ravens are in a lot of trouble, like you said. I'm going to go Bengals, but closer than people think. Ravens will play for about a half, maybe 3/4. Their defense will show up.
I need Jamar Chase to have a big game today.
That's okay with me.
He's on my fantasy team, so he can have a big game. He didn't last week, but he can have one today. So I was playing Matt last week, though. I didn't need Jamar Chase to step up. Matt killed himself.
I told you, Calvin Ridley, Darren Waller, and DeAndre Swift has single-handedly destroyed my team. There was like my first 3 picks, essentially.
All right, Rams at the Vikings. I'm going with the Rams. I think the team is finally starting to come together. Matt, where are you heading?
This game was tough because part of me felt like it was going to be close, but then I remember that the Rams got Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford, and they've been unstoppable, so I'm going to the Rams.
And Keith, where are you going?
Well, I see it as another team starting to come together and looking pretty good, and I think I'm in the Vikings are going to actually upset this one.
Dang it. I am like out of control with this clicking today. And Kenny, where are you going?
I'm going to make it a 50-50. I'm with Keith. I think the Vikings are home. I think it's a tough place to win. Dalvin Cook is out, but they got a great backup in Alexander Madison. So, and Kirk Cousins, like Matt said, is having some heck of a year. So I'm going to take the upset Minnesota Vikings.
DJ picked the Rams against the Vikings as well. And he's a Vikings fan. So good job, DJ.
All right. Next game. Let's go to the Bills at the Patriots. This one building up to be a good one, Matt. I'm going to go with the Patriots. I see him using a similar type game plan, just run the ball down the Bills' throat, and keep Josh Allen on sideline. Matt?
This game is going to be a lot closer than most people think. I think the Bills, will have the lead late in the fourth, but Mac Jones leads a game-winning drive to put the final nail in the coffin for the Bills.
All right. And Keith, where are you going?
Yeah, it's you have to go play the Patriots in their home. Patriots just own this battle, so I got to go with the Patriots until further notice.
And Kenny, where are you going?
I'm with you guys. I'm going to go to Patriots here. I just think it's going to be too tough at home. And you're going to see Matt Jones throw it around 20, 25 times today. But Patriots win by about a touchdown.
All right. And DJ is with the Patriots as well. So
you're going over under on the 4 for Mac Jones pass attempts? No.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
So,
in the first quarter.
There you go.
All right. Here is the barn burner of the day. The Jaguars at the Jets. It's just too much of a circus down in Jacksonville. Even after Urban left, it's just like, what the heck's going on down there? So I'm going with the Jets. Matt, where are you going?
I wanted to go with the Jaguars so bad. Like, I was so close. I ultimately said, I'm just going to flip a coin and just go with it. So I flipped a coin, and as badly as I wanted it to be the Jaguars, it needed to be in the Jets. So I think it'll pay off in the end.
Yeah. Keith, where are you going?
Dave, it's been too long since you've been to the circus. It's fun at the circus. All right. So, with two teams, anything's possible. Outcome, I went with the Jaguars, the fun circus Jaguars.
All right. And Kenny, where are you going?
I'm going to go Jets. I can't believe I just want the Jets to win, so it gives the Giants a chance of moving a spot closer in the draft next year, because we'll both be 4-11. But I just want them to. I think it's a tale of, like he just said, circus. The Jets are more disciplined. I'm going to go with the more disciplined team with Salah.
And the Jaguars now hold the number one draft spot. They don't want to screw that up.
2 years in a row.
Or can they?
Maybe they will, because Trevor Lawrence hasn't worked out for them.
All right. If anybody's ready to cut ties on Trevor Lawrence, they need their head examined. So,
amen.
All right. Next game, we got the Giants at the Eagles. So I'm going to let our special guest, Kenny, go first on this one, being that he's a Giants fan. And I think he sort of led on earlier where he was going to go. But break it down for us, Kenny.
Probably the first time ever in my history I'm going to pick the Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly. But Giants are a mess. Jake Fromm's starting today. Giant fans are excited about him. I don't know why the guy was on a practice squad, unless he's the next coming of Kurt Warner, then there's really nothing to be excited about there. So Eagles are going in the right direction. They're fighting for a playoff berth. I hope they win today and then lose the next two and get out of the playoffs. So take the Eagles today by about a touchdown.
All right, and I am going Eagles as well. I was hoping Jalen Hurts wasn't going to play today, but it looks like he's been upgraded and he will play today. So, Matt, where are you going in this game?
I'm going to go with the Eagles. You mentioned a quarterback who really needs to keep pushing the pace here. Eagles are looking like they might have, a pretty high pick possibly. Oh, no, it's going to the Yeah, no, they're getting the Colts pick and they have their own pick. They could have a pretty decent chance at a Matt Corral or a Kenny Pickett with these packages if they're not sold on him. So Jalen Hurts got to keep silencing the doubters.
Yeah, I don't know where all this stuff's coming from and why people would think that people are ready. The Eagles are ready to move off of Jalen Hurts.
I think that Howie Roseman. Howie Roseman's gone.
I think at the end of the day, he's going to be a better version than Lamar Jackson because he can throw better. All right, Keith, where are you going with this one?
Well,
you guys can all call me crazy too if you want, but that's my prediction.
That's a tough prediction. As good as Lamar Jackson's been playing, MVP and the like. But I'm a Jalen Hurts fan. That being said, I love the Giants, but I just can't pick them, man. I'm sorry. It's the Eagles.
Yep.
All Eagles.
So we got the clean sweep because DJ also went with the Eagles. So 5 for the Eagles and 0 for the Giants. Sorry, Kenny.
Hey,
maybe you guys
lose by a point. Don't be sorry. Like I said, it's the first time in my history of being a Giants fan I want to tank for better picks.
Hey, Kenny, on the bright side, Teddy's going to be a free agent next year.
Oh.
You guys can give him $25 million.
I was just looking, Kenny. Right now, you guys have the 5th and the 6th pick in the draft.
Thanks to the Bears.
Yeah, you guys could make some noise.
Yeah, you could. This could be a really fun draft.
Or you could really mess it up.
That's possible.
All right, Buccaneers at the Panthers. I'm gonna go Buccaneers in this one. I don't think it takes Bucks explanation. Matt?
No, I mean, after Tom Brady getting shut out by the Saints, he's got to have a big game today. So I'm going with the Bucks.
And Keith.
Boom goes the Cannons. Bucks and is.
And Kenny, where are you going?
Man, I would love to take the Panthers here just because the Buccaneers brought Antonio Brown back, but I got to go Brady and the Buccaneers. I hope it's closer than what people think. I hope they give them a little scare over there. But shame on them for bringing Antonio back like that just because Godwin got hurt.
What do you call it? There's reports that Sam Darnold may come back and they might have to bench.
I heard that.
You think we got it bad? Maybe we're a little sheltered.
I did hear that there would be some split playing time today between Cam Newton and Sam Darnold. So it'll be interesting to see how this whole thing plays out in Carolina. So, and DJ's going with the Buccaneers by a big margin. All right, Chargers at the Texans. I'm gonna go with the Chargers. Texans. Matt.
Even though the Chargers are going through another COVID outbreak, Mike Williams is out. They got a couple other people out.
Yeah, Eckler's out too.
Eckler's out. There's one person who's not out, and that's Mr. Justin Herbert, who's going to be a top 5 quarterback for the next 100 years, it feels like. So I'm going with the Chargers.
And Keith, where are you going? You going Texans,
I need to make up some ground, guys, but it's not going to be here, so I'll just go with Charger sweep.
I would love to take the Texans here, but Tyrod Taylor sticking it to the Chargers, but I got to go to Chargers as well.
All right, everybody. Did all you guys' cameras just go blank for a minute?
No,
just
I got a little glitch there for a second.
Okay, all right. Kenny, where are you going?
I'm going to go Chargers, but close. I wish it was the Tyrod Taylor. I hope it's the Tyrod Taylor stick it to the Chargers.
So I got a question for you guys. I need your guys' advice. So everyone knows I'm in the K&K and RMSN Fantasy Football Championship game today. And my running back is Josh Jacobs. I had Eckler, but Eckler's on the bench now. I went and I picked up Jackson from the Chargers. Should I play him over Josh Jacobs?
I'd say yes.
I'm going to go yes if Jackson's going to be the guy for the Chargers today.
I don't see who else it would be.
Yeah, I think that's a yes for me too because, you showed the stats of Josh Jacobs earlier, and like we all said, we all think it's going to be a high-scoring passing game from Derek Carr. So I would go Josh Jackson.
Now, Matt, this really helps you out because if I win, you don't have to eat that hot pepper or that hot potato chip.
Yeah.
I'm really with DJ here because the second you bench him, some bad luck's gonna
That
happen,
ship right there.
and Jacobs is gonna let it break for like 120 something yards and 2 touchdowns. Something ridiculous will happen the second you bench him. It's just karma. It's just how it happens. I mean, Jackson, even when he's had to start in place of Eckler and all those other things when he's got plays, he just hasn't really done much.
Yeah, and I'm playing Jacobs. That's who I have in there right now. So maybe I'll just
I'm gonna be watching.
Maybe I'll just
Me
stick
too.
with my my gut instinct. So
Gonna
I got a little
Applebee's.
reprieve because I have Tyreek Hill, and Tyreek Hill just got cleared yesterday to come back from COVID. So hopefully that helps me out too. So
Absolutely.
all right, let's move on to the next game. Bears at the Seahawks. Anybody willing to take the Bears? Not me. Matt?
No, absolutely not.
I know Keith. Keith, you have to be it.
No, Seahawks
No.
it is, buddy.
All right. Kenny?
Nope. This
Bears?
is an audition for Russell Wilson to maybe be a New York Giant. Give me the Seahawks.
Well, you're on that, aren't you?
I'm all in on that one. Not
Yeah.
all in. No, that's the wrong word to use, all in. I'm not giving up 5 and 6. I'll give up 1 draft pick this year, but not 2 for Russell Wilson.
Okay.
Give up future picks.
So
Picks.
clean sweep because DJ is also going with the Seahawks as well. All right, Steelers at the Chiefs. Chiefs are missing Kelsey, a couple other players because of COVID. I'm going to say Steelers go in there, steal one. Steelers need this win more than Kansas City does. Steelers are fighting for their playoff life. Matt, where are you going?
The Kansas City defense has been playing lights out. I just don't think Pittsburgh can come out with this one. I'm going Kansas City.
And Keith, where are you going?
Steelers can want all they want, but I don't think they get a win in Kansas City. Sorry, I
Hey,
go with
you
the Chiefs.
guys just don't understand my position here. I'm married to a Steelers fan. I think the
And if
last
they-
4 weeks I picked the Steelers.
And
That's so funny.
if they lose today, they're eliminated, I believe, correct?
Yes, they are. So,
Mhm.
Kenny,
I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm going Steelers with you, Dave. We've been
All
agreeing this whole show.
Wow.
You give me Ben Roethlisberger. Joe Burrow's on his way up. Ben Roethlisberger, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, and Baker. I got more confidence in Ben getting this team to the playoffs than those other guys right now.
Huh.
And so I'm going to go Ben gets that big win on the road and makes a push for these playoffs. That's my bold prediction.
all right.
Wow.
And DJ's just lost a little respect in my eyes.
Oh, boo.
So,
Mhm.
I can live with it. I can live with it.
DJ, don't say Cowboys' third favorite team, please.
and we're just getting DJ. So,
Yeah.
all right. Why? Speaking of the Cowboys, Washington at the Cowboys. I'm going Cowboys. I think Washington's just they were trying to make a little run. I think they're done now. Matt, where are you going?
I mean, Washington's got some potential there, but it's not going to come out or help them too much today. Cowboys win.
Keith?
Yeah, make it 3 stars across the board there, buddy. I'll go Cowboys.
All right. And Kenny, where are you going?
Can I make it 3.5 and not pick the Cowboys?
Deal.
This is-
We'll take
this
it.
is hard
I'm
for
going
a
to Washington. I'm going to go Washington for the show because they had COVID issues when they played a couple weeks ago. They had a bunch of injuries.
Mhm.
I'm hoping Antonio Gibson plays tonight. I'm going to get Washington. Cowboys, it's more desperate for the Washington than Dallas. So
All right, 4
you
to
get a
1
desperate
because
team. Give me Washington.
it's 4 to 1 because DJ just picked his third favorite team, the Cowboys. So, all right, and Dolphins at the Saints. I'm going to go with the Dolphins on this one. Matt, where are you going?
If there's been a team that's been clawing themselves out of the basement week in and week out, it's been the Dolphins. It's hard not to want to pick them, so I'm not going to pick against them. I'm going Dolphins.
All right, and Keith?
I've been a complete non-believer in Tua, but these last few weeks has me thinking otherwise, so I'm also going Dolphins.
All right, and Kenny, where are you going?
Let's clean sweep the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins defense
All right.
is going to have Taysom Hill running all over the place.
So,
Taysom Hill is out, I believe, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
They're starting
Even
Ian
better.
Book.
Ian Book
That's
is
right. I forgot about that.
COVID.
Even better. Yeah. The Dolphins defense is going to pressure that kid.
got the Fighting Irish coming to the rescue.
They try to sign Drew Brees out of retirement to play this game.
Right.
Wow.
I think Drew said, "Nah, I like what
I'm
I'm
good."
doing here. I'm not going to go out there
Yeah.
and get beat down." So, and then
He said, "I'm good."
I've
DJ
got new
said,
hair.
Yep.
I don't want to mess it up.
DJ says 2 at a time. He has the Dolphins as well. So 4-1 again. All right, here it is, guys. Give me your score and your MVP for the game. And, of course, who's going to win. So, Kenny, we'll let you go first.
High scoring, like Keith said, a lot of passing in this game. 30-24 Denver. And my MVP is going to be none other than Mr. Drew Lock.
I like that. I like you, Kenny. You're all right.
Thanks, Dave. I like it too.
Matt, do you want to go? I won't even throw up our little screen. We can go out of order here.
Oh, that's fine. So I am going with the Broncos.
Okay.
It is not going to be a high-scoring affair, as the Broncos' offense is not known for that often.
Well, not with Teddy.
We've been at what 20. Drew was 23 points per game last season. It's not like it was significantly much more. However, I do have the Broncos winning this one. Drew Lock is not my MVP. It's going to be Melvin Gordon with a solid game today. I think Denver ends up winning 17-14, and that's how it goes.
All right, and Keith.
A little bit of hope in my mind and my thoughts today. I want Drew Lock to go out there and have a good day. He's going to have to if we're going to have a win, as Kenny pointed out. I've been rallying saying it's going to be a high-scoring game. So for me, it's going to have to be Broncos 31. It's going to have to be the Raiders 24. I'm going to be right there with Kenny. I'm going to put up Drew Lock as my MVP if we get this done. And like I already said in our over-under, I put him over-under on the 2 touchdowns, so he's getting 3 touchdowns in this as well. So
All right.
Go out there. Let's have a game, guys.
And that's what I'm talking about. And I said earlier, Drew Lock's going to have 4 touchdown passes. So I'm going to go Broncos 34, Raiders 21. I see a pretty easy victory for us. I think Drew Lock is going to spark that quarterback controversy again. And he'll be my MVP. I mean, like I said, he's going to go for 280-some yards, 4 touchdowns. I see a good game from him. And we'll see where it goes. But I'm picking the Broncos, so it looks like all of us are picking the Broncos except for this guy right here. The undercover Chiefs fan is going with the Raiders. So, hey, DJ, thanks for playing along. Thanks for throwing in your picks. We appreciate it. All right, guys. Final parting shots really quick. We're a little bit over time. So, Kenny, anything really quick?
Thanks for having me on, guys. Always a pleasure. Dave, Keith, Matt, always a pleasure. Love talking sports with you guys and being on your show. Anytime you need me or want me on, just a phone call away. I'm here for you guys, just like you're here for us on K&K.
Right. Keith?
Fantastic gift of getting Kenny on the show for Christmas. I appreciate it so much. Hope we get another gift again today. Raiders are really wanting to get this. They're still in the playoff hunt as well, so it's going to be a tough game. But let's go out there and let's have a big Broncos win. Let's rally behind our starting QB and Drew Lock. Hope he goes out there and has a fantastic game.
All right, Matt, how about you?
I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Go Broncos.
All right.
This is the game they should win.
All right, I agree. Go Broncos. Hey, everybody. Hope everyone had a great Merry Christmas. Finish up the Christmas weekend. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy some football today. Join Keith and myself tonight for our post-game show. Matt will not be with us tonight. So, Kenny, if you're bored around 8 o'clock your time and want to do some post-game show, let us know. So,
Sure.
All right, everybody. All right, this wraps up today's show. We'll be back on tonight. Like I said, 6 o'clock, Keith and myself for our post-game show. Until then, please follow, like, and subscribe. We're on all the social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Make sure you follow us on those. You can also chat with myself, Keith, and Matt through our Twitter accounts or join us on our Facebook page, Rocky Mountain Sports Network. We do a lot of posting over there, and we have other people that talk other sports besides NFL. And you can also listen to our podcast on Anchor and multiple other outlets. From all of us here at 4th and 99 in the Rocky Mountain Sports Network, thank you for watching.